Good morning. So I've just done a separate video just talking generally about cleansing the skin and the importance of starting your skincare correctly. My view is that there's no point in investing in effective serums and creams if you're not placing them onto clean skin. So they're already, there will already be a barrier of pollution, sebum, perspiration and all the things we don't want on our skin, so it doesn't allow the rest of your products to penetrate properly. It does cause what I call an occlusive barrier, so that it doesn't allow the rest of the products to enter the skin as effectively as what they should do. It also will dull the skin and you'll get a build-up of dead skin cells, and what we want to do is very gently keep the skin cells turning over at a really lovely rate. I will be talking about acid exfoliations and exfoliation in general, whether it's a physical or a chemical, in another video, but today I just wanted to go through double cleansing. So some people don't cleanse at all. Some people will do a single cleanse, and then there's the big double cleanse or second cleanse trend that's going on. I do love a double cleanse, obviously if you've got time, but don't think that, oh my goodness, if it's not two, then it's not effective. Ideally 2 at night, because you've, fingers crossed, have had sunscreen on in the day, or you might have been wearing makeup, but in the morning you would have perspired during the night. Obviously, unless you've got a clean pillowcase every single day, obviously your hair and your face is on that. There are, you produce more oils, your skin's healing more at night. There's lots of different benefits from cleansing and getting the skin awake and prepared in the morning. Once I've done my first cleanse, which I tend to be a sulfate-free cleanser, it's pH balance to the skin is my, obviously my favourite. We want to keep our acid mantle intact and in what I call in harmony with what it would like to be, which is between 4 and 5.5 ideally. When you go on to a second cleanse, some people will take a second cleanse and will be an oil cleanse. So they've started off with a wash and then they'll go on to an oil cleanse. An oil cleanse to me is more of a favourite at night, where you're kind of giving some foods and feeding the skin, because from my experience, even if you've cleansed it away, you will leave a plumpness to the skin and there will be some oil because you have fed an oil. If it's an appropriate oil and a good oil, they contain essential fatty acids and other valuable properties that are there to feed the skin. So that's the whole idea of doing it. But if you are not wanting to then go on to put in, serums will penetrate better if you've got something lighter on the skin. In the day, my second cleanse, I often use vitamin C in there. I am a lover of using vitamin C throughout the day. It is a very strong antioxidant. It works to protect the skin against free radical damage. So it's different than an SPF, where an SPF is designed to either reflect light away or basically break down the light within the skin. If you imagine it as, I always say, if you've got vitamin C, or nothing is getting through your skin. So basically, it hits the SPF, and then once, if any light does come through or any damage, not just from light, from pollution as well, you've got this kind of force field, I call it, force field over your skin, where the free radicals, which is, things that break down and age the skin, and also are things that will accelerate obviously aging, but also, damage to the skin. It's damage to the DNA. Vitamin C will support the skin with this. Other benefits that, visual benefits with vitamin C is that it brightens the skin. So it does work on lightening pigmentation, and it does work on collagen as well. It helps the synthesis of collagen. So that's the production of collagen, but you need to use that long term. What I'm talking about in a cleanse, I just love waking up, doing a cleanse and just popping a few drops of vitamin C into my cleanser. And because you will notice, if you're feeling a bit dull, you've woke up in the morning thinking, my skin's not looking, as bright as what I'd like it to do. I've got an important meeting, or, I'm just, like I say, I'm not really feeling it today. You will get the benefits of it being an antioxidant. But mainly in a cleanse, you'll be using it for the brightening aspect of it. That is why I use the vitamin C more in the morning. My other boosters that I pop into my cleansers, I tend to do more of a night, because I will actually transform my cleanser from being a normal gentle pH balance cleanser in my first cleanse. I will then take that into being an exfoliator, but a very gentle exfoliator. So again, I'm going to cover exfoliation in another video, but you can support your skin if you're suffering from breakouts. Then there is nothing wrong than, or what I'm saying, my recommendation would be to continually try to keep the pores, get my words out, the pores turning over the cells. So we want to just kind of keep lifting out the sebum, but not using harsh products. So what I've worked and found very effective with my clients is that if I get people with breakout skins to start adding salicylic acid into their cleanse of an evening, and cleansing their skin with that, it's a 2%, it's gentle. It's even more gentle when you put it in with the cleanser and you're washing it away. So we're not using it as a spot treatment, we're not using it as a full exfoliation, but what we are doing with it is that we are cleansing the pores, getting in there and starting breaking down within the pore itself. And this is where the compaction starts. So all the comedones, the blackheads, and we call them papules and pustules are formed. So if we can do that regularly, rather than just like once a week doing an exfoliation, just generally it's more of a maintenance. And I find consistent treatment of the skin in low doses always wins the race, as it were. Whether brands or people love using high concentrations, but maybe would use that, once a week or twice a week. I tend to do, not every day. I'll take you into something else special that I do with my clients, but just on a general basis, you would use the salicylic acid, or you can use glycolic acid. So say that you've got your cleanser, so you would use your cleanse, you would put 3 or 4 drops of either salicylic acid or glycolic acid. The glycolic acid would be more for a skin that's aging more, maybe has some pigmentation, wants to work and stimulate collagen production. So that's a really lovely one. And a lot of people forget to exfoliate if they're only doing it once a week. So just to add it in on an evening basis, they feel they are, the routine helps them to, by doing it, and it just becomes part of their routine. Then, I've got to remember that on a Friday or Saturday or whatever day you decide is your day of exfoliation. This doesn't mean that you can't separately exfoliate. This is just, I call it a buffer, something that's working with the skin very gently. So then when you do a full exfoliation, it doesn't have to be so harsh. You have been working with the skin is already lifting, those cells out and those secretions and keeping it clear, or already stimulating the collagen and brightening the pigmentation. So I tend to use my acids in the week, so my salicylic acid and my glycolic acid, by popping it into my cleanser. And then what I can do is just once a week, I can actually take onto gauze or neat onto gauze or cotton pads and wipe over the skin. And either cold removal acids I always take off with cold water. I often cleanse after, but like I say, I'll do a whole subject on acids and why I work with them in a certain way. I've discussed about the vitamin C and how that can brighten the complexion. So although you are removing that in a cleanse, so don't think that there's much product, although you would have done, it's supportive to the skin, even, though it's only on for a couple of minutes, it's not on long enough to have a true cellular effect. What it is more for that is just to brighten the skin and customize that, but there are probably diluted properties in the other areas. So at night, if I'm not using an acid and I want to have a more luxurious cleanse, then I will add some oils in. So I use squalane a lot, and I recommend that a lot for my clients with inflammation. So they might want to pop a couple of drops of that in and just, take their skin, if the skin's feeling a bit tired or dry, it's nice to do an oil cleanse. And just literally, you don't have to have different cleansers. You can have one, or, which is what I recommend, or what I use with my clients. a foaming cleanser that you're adding product to, and actually if you feel the texture, I'll actually do one for you now. So if you've got a pump of your cleanser, I'm actually going to use my Omega oil. This has got 17 different botanicals in. I'll be doing this on my OneSkin page, not on my skin advice page, but if you wanted to find out more about that product, it's on there. You put 3 or 4 drops into the cleanse, so it doesn't foam in the same way, but get this lovely creamy texture. So you can, it's hot, you know, it's really lovely. So you've done your first cleanse, so it's all squeaky clean. And this is something that can, you know, if you want to just treat the skin, some people just think, I'll just pick this up. Depends on how you feel the day. I very much treat my skin and recommend people to treat their skin for their lifestyle on that day or what's been happening. So if they're very stressed, we treat it for that. If they've been on holiday, and they've been flying, then usually they'll be more dehydrated. The skin might be dry because they've dried it out too much, you know, in the chlorine in the water. So I do teach people to start their day by thinking, well, one, what are they going to be doing for the day? They won't want a heavy product on their skin if they are flying up to the city and they get really hot and sweaty, and you know, and that bothers them. They want to be applying one of their light moisturizers or just a serum underneath their SPF. So really, you know, I'm working with people to help customize so they don't say, oh, you know, it's too heavy for me, because some days it might feel a bit heavy what you choose, and some days you need something a bit lighter. And this does feel, I mean, you can see a little bit of foaming going on, because obviously we've got the surfactants in there breaking down any debris, any pollution, any makeup, but the oils are being taken over the skin and just feeling super nourishing. But the real telltale is when you remove it. You know, the skin, there's obviously no tightness and it just feels plumper. So it's a really, scoop up, really nice little treat for the skin. Again, if someone's in quite a hurry before bed and think, oh gosh, you know, but I want to put a night oil on it as well, and they haven't got time and they just want to cleanse away their day, it's not my favourite choice. I'm very much a layering girl, making sure that everything's put on in its certain layer. But I always say is, if you're not going to do it at all, just, you know, make sure you've cleansed, and, you know, if you've put an oil in there, or just cleansed and press on a few drops of treatment oil before bed, or whatever product you're using, whether it's a retinol or a night cream. You might want to keep it simple. Some people really do a great routine at night and really, you know, quick and fresh in the morning. Just depends on lifestyles and time, and that, you know, you do the best that you can do. And some people say, oh, you know, I forget my SPF. Well, even if you forget it for 2 days and use it for 5 days of the week, you know, you're supporting, you're lessening the damage than if you weren't to do it at all. So, you know, just do the best that you can, and you know, and do your routine as often as you can. Try and pick up some tips, obviously, from all the great people out there. Obviously, I'm going to run these videos just to help you, really. Just from basics, I will be discussing other areas as well, because, you know, I just, you know, in deeper, you know, really how I treat over the last 26 years and how I get the results that I get with my clients. But I'm looking for healthy skin. So I'm not looking, you know, at, and it does, and healthy skin changes and we get fabulous results. But I don't take over the function of the skin. The skin as an organ in itself is very, very clever. And I believe through the method that I use, you know, I support that. I support the skin, I defend the skin, I feed the skin the right things. But I don't take over its whole duty, you know, what it's there to do. But I do help to stimulate it so it can actually, you know, help itself, really. But you'll get little tips, I hope, along the way, so that you can really understand how I work. But love just sharing a second cleanse with you today. Skin's feeling really lovely. If I could quite happily go to bed like this, because it has just left it feeling really, really fresh, but not tight. And, you know, I can feel the plumpness from the Omega oils that are on there. But I would personally then go through and either use a serum, and then an oil on top. That's my favourite. Or I would use a serum. I would use a retinol product. Again, all of these things I will cover up some point. And I said one step at a time, and just wanted to go through a second cleanse on this video today. Okay, so thank you for being with me. Bye.